I worked here every summer, and we would mill grain and take it out to the cattle bunks, and then you had to walk across a 6-inch rail out of 2x6, and you dump a 90-pound bag of feed in a feed bunk. And they always told me if I ever slipped, just drop the bag, don't worry about it. And I remember slipping one time and catching the bag, but I never did fall. Okay, Dad retired from the St. Joe Stockyards. He was maintenance foreman there for 37 years. Dad built the catwalk. They had a catwalk where you could walk from one end of the yards to the other and never get your feet dirty. Of course, you couldn't do that walking through the yards. It was, I believe, the third largest, and we had about 5 or 6 packing houses here in St. Joe. There was Armour and Company, there was Swift and Company, there was Cudahy, there was Sites, there was Dugdale's, and the stockyards here housed the cattle and the hogs, sheep, for all of them. Well, we're standing in the middle of what was a big hog yards, all enclosed. North of here was the cattle yards. That's vacant ground out here now. Dad at one time had something like 30 or 40 employees. The stockyards is still here, but they've got 1.5 employees that does the maintenance now. The railroads brought in a lot of the livestock, and they had a rail dock that run almost the whole length of the stockyards over here on the east side. And they would unload the hogs down at the south end, and they'd unload cattle and sheep up at the north end. There was businesses all up and down the street here, and they all relied on the stockyards. There was a hotel, and that was next to my brother's place over there, and he had the horse and mule barns. On the other side of the street was Western Wear stores, think about 3 bars, the Hoof and Horn restaurant, and then there was apartments upstairs. The building was built in about 1898. Eccles was the architect on it, and he designed every room so that it would have natural light. In this area right here, there was commission offices, a seed office where they sold grass seed. This is the back door to the bank. On down the hallway here was a restaurant. On further down was, actually the stockyards had an office down there that they used. There would have been thousands of people. I mean, it was so busy that there was no room to park cars. You know, they even though they had a lot of space down here, they had to build garages for different people back there so they'd have a place to park, and farmers would sit in there and wait for their checks and stuff, probably played checkers, and because, you know, the checks wasn't there immediately after they unloaded cattle or hogs or sheep. So they killed time in there, and then they had the restaurant where they would eat, and you had to wait in line to get in the restaurant at that time. And on a Sunday evening, the traffic would line up for about a mile waiting to get livestock in here. If you lived here in the south end, it was the smell of money. If you come in from out of town, it was PU. I mean, when you lived here, you just got used to it. And you know, everybody depended on this place. Well, this is where the employees punched in, and there was a secretary that sat behind this glass window all the time, and she's the one that kept track of time. Upstairs was a break room and lunchroom. They used to play pitch and conch up there every day for about an hour at noon. There's the rack for the time cards on the floor. Well, it's a fact of life that things does change, but it hurts to see it this way. You know, I would really like to see it restored.